All right. Last episode of the day for college football. It is Lambo's World of Sports featuring the Big Brother featuring Satellite Sports Network. Um, Pittsburgh versus Virginia Tech. Great atmosphere. Um, I might pull up to the game. I'm not sure. I got to figure some details out. See, the tickets are not high as shit. Hopefully, I can get there for free like last year. I'm always trying to find ways to get there for free because them tickets is expensive as hell. And by the way, they only won one goddamn game. So I'm just very concerned. Um, Pittsburgh lost to UNC last year. I mean, not last year, last week. Blowout game. Virginia Tech lost to Marshall. Both teams are coming off losses. Um, I'm not confident in Tech. I like Kyron Drones a lot. I expressed that the offensive coordinator needs to go. I feel like this is the game where if he doesn't execute good on the Saturday night lights, he will be fired and we will be calling for his job. Um, there's some injuries involved as well. I think Grant Wells is still battling the ankle injury. I hope he does not start. We don't need him to start because he's awfully garbage. He sucks. Virginia Tech defense has been a problem. Their run game defense has been a problem. And I feel like Pittsburgh is more physical. They can run the ball, even though we hadn't seen it. I feel like they could throw with play action. Um, I'm going to stick with Virginia Tech because it's at home, and they won the primetime matchup against ODU. I understand it's not ODU, but I'm going to go with Virginia Tech until I don't know. I'll go with Tech. Pittsburgh is falling off, but I just have a feeling I might be wrong, but I'm just going to stick with Virginia Tech.
Yeah, so the Rutgers game I picked against Tech. Last week I picked with Tech. Obviously, that didn't go the way that we expected it to. This week I'm going with Tech again. I do think that I'm a realistic fan when it comes to Virginia Tech. The game last week, we should have won. The offense kept stalling, and I don't really know what there is to do except for call better plays, really, because our guys weren't getting open. Kyron, I don't know the order of his progressions, so I'm not going to criticize him on that. But I don't think some of the plays he was going where he needed to go first, and then the offensive line is bad enough to where half the time he's having to make these throws on the run, which he has shown that he can be accurate on the run. Our going to the defensive side of the ball, we have the second best pass defense in the country. 138 and a half yards a game through 4 weeks. You can also put it on that the opposing teams are running 212 yards a game, so maybe they don't have to throw it as much. But it's not like we're allowing high percentage throws or anything like that. And, Pitt is, like you said, they've fallen off. They don't have, NFL caliber guys at running back, at quarterback like they have in years past when they have beaten us. I'm going to go Tech here as well. I'm nervous. Their defense only allows 160 in passing yards a game and 110 on the ground, where our offense is throwing 220 a game, and we've gotten the running average up, but it's still dog shit from the first 2 weeks performance that we've had. So I don't know how reliable it really is to go off of our running yards per game, just because 2 of the games we saw it without Kyron in. So, that just changes the entire backfield completely when you have a dual threat quarterback. It gives more opportunity for your running backs, and we've seen that with 2 consecutive weeks of our running backs getting over 4 yards a carry, which, in week 2, what did we have, 9 rushing yards in the entire game or something like that. So it's a different offense with Kyron out there. Jalen Lane seems to be 100% again. We're not going to have Ollie Jennings again this week, which is very unfortunate. But we have depth at the wide receiver room. Gosnell is disgusting. I mean, you saw that crazy catch he made last week. Obviously, it didn't lead to a win or anything, but he's very good. So I think him coming in and, Jalen sliding up to receiver 1, we have depth behind. It's not just Ollie Jennings and Jalen Lane. We've got wide receivers, and Kyron seems to be able to put the ball where it needs to go more times than not. Some of the incompletions aren't all on him. sometimes he just has to throw it into coverage because we don't have the scheme to get guys open. And I think that goes to what you're talking about with, just the inconsistencies of Bowen as the OC, as the play caller. He isn't getting our guys open when I know that they can be getting, like, it's not a talent thing. It's just the scheme of the offense doesn't seem to be flowing at all. And that's kind of been a theme that was last year as well. Granted, that was his first year as an OC ever. So I don't want to put that on him too much. And we had a much less talented team last year, I believe, than we do this year. So yeah, I'm sticking with Virginia Tech. It's just getting harder and harder to do it, And the Pitt defense isn't a joke. I just talked about that. They have a good defense, but the offense can stall just as much as ours can, like against West Virginia, who by all means isn't where they used to be either. Like they're a much worse team than they used to be. Their coach was on the hot seat going into this year as well. They only put up 6 points against West Virginia. So like I'm looking for positives, and I think that the positives I'm finding are outweighing the negatives a little bit. But the run defense has to get fixed. And, it obviously hasn't yet, but it's not like we're playing against a team that has outstanding running backs so far statistically. They're averaging about 4 yards a carry as a team. And their top 3 guys are all over 4 yards a carry. But it doesn't seem like they're super heavy into just running the ball throughout the entire game. Now, that could be a game plan switch playing against Virginia Tech, who has obviously one of the worst running defenses in the country. So they could emphasize the run a little bit more. But just from what I'm seeing, like, they don't have a great quarterback whatsoever. He's throwing the ball just above 50%. He's got 4 touchdowns and 3 picks. And, their O-line isn't great either. They've allowed 9 sacks this year for 95 yards of a loss. So it's not like we're playing against a team that's loaded on offense and can stop our D-line as well as other teams have. Now, obviously, Marshall's team shouldn't match up with us talent-wise, but they did, and they proved to be able to open holes and beat us that way. But, I trust – I don't even want to say trust. I believe in our ability to limit what they can do offensively a little bit. Like, that trust outweighs my concerns by, it's probably like 55% to 45%. Like, I'm very on the fence. I could see this going both ways. I will be at this game. So I'm either going to be going to bed elated or I'm going to be going to bed just depressed because of the downturn that Virginia Tech has taken. So yeah, I'm riding with Tech in this game, and most games I'll probably end up picking them just because still pay tuition here and everything. So I'm obviously still rooting for them very, very heavy to win every game. I try to be realistic. I think I was in the Rutgers game. That ended up being true. Last week we had a chance to win. This week we have a chance to win. It just needs, we need to be able to keep the whole just complete, throughout the entire game. It's like the Purdue game, we had a great second, a great comeback. We were down 17-0, brought it back, only allowed 7 points in the entirety of the second half. And it was the game-winning touchdown that we let up, So it's just one part of the team. It would be great at one point, and then they start to suck. And then the other side of the team starts to get better. They need to be better at the same time. That's what needs to happen. They need to be consistent. The team as a whole needs to be consistent. And, hopefully this is the week we finally put those pieces together.
Well, I hope so as well, but I'm still not confident. But this is it for Lambo's World of Sports, featuring the Big Brother Feature Sideline Sports Network. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, recruiting videos, all right? We'll be talking about Georgia, Kansas State, and Arkansas. All right, so that's the recruiting videos for tomorrow. Be some good stuff, some good takes. But we will see you tomorrow for the recruiting videos, and then we'll see you Thursday for all NFL previews going forward. But hopefully Tech wins this game, and hopefully I find my way, surprisingly, in Blacksburg Stadium. But we'll have to figure that out either tonight or tomorrow. We'll catch you. Goodbye.